Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Through it all, through all the controversy, through the cancellation, through the, you know, backlash and, debates on if it should happen, if it shouldn't happen, if it's going to be legit, if it's going to be real, if both can be healthy or if Mike can be healthy. It's really happening. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul on Netflix is happening this Friday. I love that it's on Friday, by the way. Love that it's on Friday. Love that they decided not to go head to head with the UFC. Thank you. I know that y'all probably could have done very well because, Mike Tyson's a global superstar and people want to see him get, the comeuppance on the Jake Paul, the most hated, even though I really don't think he's as hated as he used to be. He kind of plays it up and he's really not that hated, I don't think, anymore. Um, well, he is by some people. Regardless, I am going to the fight. I am headed out tomorrow. I am headed out to Dallas. I'm staying about 2 miles from the beautiful, beautiful Cowboy Stadium. I could not wait to, you know, take some pictures flicking off the stadium. As you can see, can I point right? As you can see, go Birds. Just spanked that ass last week. Can't wait to take some good pics. My mom's a Cowboys fan. Can't wait to take some pictures in front of the stadium, taunting them. But that's besides the point. Today we're going to talk about the fights. We're going to give our predictions, and we're going to give, what happens next in both scenarios. So first off, this is not your typical fight that you're going to just break down as, is this guy more skilled? Is this guy more skilled? What have we seen from this guy lately? Because it's just such a vast contrast. It is a YouTube influencer, Disney Channel kid turned boxer, a couple years of experience, fighting mostly MMA guys, lost to the one pro boxer he fought. Well, he fought two other ones, but those were cans. The one pro boxer in his prime that's kind of at the same stage as him that he fought, he lost to. Beat some MMA guys, beat some older boxers that aren't active. Um, and then we have Mike Tyson, who is, I believe, 58 or 59 years old. Fought Roy Jones in an exhibition. Everyone's so excited about that, using that as the last, source of what Mike could be. Mike looks good on Instagram. Mike looks juiced up, as I would expect him to be, as I would expect Jake Paul to be. These aren't real, championship contending fighters. Jake says he wants to be, but at the moment, neither one of them are contenders. So take all the juice you want. This is technically this is a circus fight. In a way, it is. And Mike Tyson looks like he's treated as such, as Jake Paul most likely has always been on some. I always thought he's on some shit. Like, wow, what is the point of staying clean, bro? Like, what? He doesn't. He doesn't fight in Vegas because I don't think he could get sanctioned. You guys notice? Look at Jake Paul's fights. Look at every single one of Jake Paul's fights. Where does he fight? He fights in places that have the most lenient commissions. He's fighting in Texas. He fought in Florida. I think he fought in Puerto Rico. He ain't fighting in Vegas. He ain't fighting in New York City. I don't even think, has he fought in California? I don't know if he's fought in California. These more strict commissions are not going to, sanction this fight of a 60-year-old man versus a 27-year-old up and coming boxer. And the one issue that I have with this fight, stylistic, now we're going to get technical. So, for Mike Tyson, skill wise, I'm not worried. Mike Tyson is more skilled. Power wise, I'm not worried. Power is the last thing to go. Mike will still have power. Mike can still knock him out. Even speed, honestly. I know Mike's old. Jake might, at this point in his career, Jake might be a little bit faster, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike is still faster. Jake Paul's not fast. Uh, doesn't have fast feet, doesn't have fast hands. Is not really fast at all. Doesn't have fast head movement. He's just, he's not a fast guy at all. And also he's bulking up to get to this weight. Mike looks in better shape than him. I'll be honest. Let's look on Instagram. Mike looks jacked. Jake looks fat. Jake looks like he Mike looks like he got to this weight in the weight room. Jake looks like he got to this weight in the kitchen. So none of those things really worry me. The only thing that I would really worry about, if you were someone that's hardcore rooting for Mike Tyson, I've never been a big Tyson guy. I'm not even gonna go into some of the debates that I've had on, Mike Tyson's legacy and who Mike Tyson's beat and his, I'm not even gonna get into that debate on this video because that's a video for another day. But I've never been Mike Tyson is the GOAT. Mike Tyson is the GOAT heavyweight. I've never been that guy. Just not my stance that I take. So I think him losing would maybe hurt me a little bit less than some of y'all that are like hardcore. Tyson's the GOAT. I don't have Tyson on my list that high. I got Ali above him. I got Joe Louis above him. I got Lennox Lewis above him. So I'm just, that's for another day. But I'm just saying. But Mike looks good, man. Mike looks swole, ripped, ready to go. I'm not worried about anything technical. I'm not worried about power. I'm not worried about speed. I'm not worried about anything that comes down to boxing. The only thing I'm worried about is 58-year-old men are not built to take punches to the head. I don't think I've ever met a 60-year-old that has a good chin. Do y'all know a 60-year-old with a good chin? Because I don't. Because I don't. Y'all remember Evander Holyfield fought Vitor Belfort and a good gust of wind knocked him over. A good gust of wind would have knocked him over on that night. Yes, Mike fought recently against Roy Jones Jr., but that was a glorified sparring match. They weren't trying to knock each other out. And Roy was a smaller guy. And Roy has too much respect for Mike to knock him out. Jake Paul has respect for Mike, but I think he fully has, enough selfish ego where he has no problem knocking out Mike and feeling no two ways about it. And I just don't know if Mike can take a punch anymore. He didn't take a full-fledged, full-force, overhand left hook. Jake Paul's power punch is the overhand. Mike Tyson probably has not taken a full-force power punch in 20 years. When he fought Kevin McBride in 2005. 2005 was probably the last time that someone was aiming to knock his head off, throwing full 100% punches at him. 2005. I don't know if it's still there. I have no problem knowing that he has the dog in him. I have no problem knowing that he has the skill advantage and the power advantage and the boxing advantage and the IQ advantage, but I don't know if he can still take a punch at that age. I think everyone is going to favor Mike early. Everyone's going to favor Mike in the first round, the second round, the third round. But what happens when, that age starts to kick in? Jake, maybe Jake gets dropped early, but he weathers the storm. And then Mike starts to get a little bit tired. I'm not saying Jake's going to have better cardio, but when they're both tired, then you're both going to start landing. And Jake starts to land. Can Mike still take a punch? Is the only question that I have in this fight. That is the only question that I think will determine this fight, is Mike's chin. If Mike still has a chin, he'll win. Simple as that. I don't think Jake's winning a decision in any way. If it goes to decision, I would say Mike all the way. If it's a first round knockout, I would say Mike all the way. If it's a knockout after the third round, I would say probably Jake Paul was the one that won it. If I saw the prediction with no names on it, and it said fourth round TKO, I'd say Jake Paul probably won. If it says first round clean knockout, I'd say Mike Tyson won. If it said decision, I'd say Mike Tyson won. So in most scenarios, I'm going Mike Tyson, but I don't know about his chin. That's my question. I don't know. I really don't, man. His last fight was June 11, 2005. That is probably the last time someone was throwing 100% full force punches trying to knock Mike Tyson out. Now, Jake Paul is unexperienced. Jake Paul is nowhere near the boxer, nowhere near the legend that Mike Tyson is. But Jake Paul's active. Jake Paul's young. Jake Paul can weather the storm. You can just take more damage when you're young and come back. Just tell me if anyone is like, oh, Mike's got it. Mike's got it easy. Jake Paul's a bum. Jake Paul's a joke. Jake Paul's a YouTuber. Mike has no chance. Just in your head, think of when was the last time you saw a 60-year-old man take a punch well? When was the last time you saw a 60-year-old man take a clean punch to the face and eat it? Like, that ain't nothing. I'm still, bro, it just doesn't happen. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. Your balance is not as good as it used to be. Your chin is not as good as it used to be. Your pain tolerance is not as good as it used to be. Your recovery, none of that is as good as it used to be. That is the number one question in this fight. Can Mike Tyson still take a punch? Is my number one question. If you guys have, another determining factor in the fight, I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment, let me know. I'll be at the fight week. I'll be at all the events. I'll be at the weigh-ins. I'll be at the press conference. I'll be at the fight. I'll be doing a lot of content. I got a lot of stuff coming this week. I may be collabing with some different people. It's an exciting week, bro. The channel's been doing great. I just want to say I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the channel, whether it's my UFC content, my boxing content, or the, music, or just random reaction videos or different stuff that I've done. Appreciate all y'all. And this is another big trip, another big weekend. We're going to be in Dallas for the fight week, getting all the content for the fight week, flying back Saturday, and we're streaming for the UFC fight, guys. We no stopping. And then Sunday we'll be at the Vikings-Titans game, checking out Jay Jettas. So all types of content coming this weekend. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know. Drop a comment who you think is going to win, what you think is the determinant factor in the fight. If you think Mike can still take a punch. If you think how Jake could win. If you think Jake could win a decision. I don't think anybody really would think that. Or if you think Jake could just clear outbox Mike. I don't think anybody would really think that unless Mike is just a complete shell of himself, which is very possible. We did see him on a cane at a UFC event a couple years. We got to remember, guys. We got to remember. The Tyson versus Roy Jones fight was 4 years ago. 4 years. He didn't go from 20 to 24. He went from, what is he now? He went from 54 to 58. That's a big difference. 54 to 58. He's getting up there to 60, guys. There's some young, spry 40-year-olds that still move around pretty good. The beginning of your 50s, you still got it a little bit. But when you get to that tail end, towards your 60s, you're an old man. You're old. Like, you're actually an old man at 58. Your early 50s, there's some 50-year-olds that move around good, still look very young. But when you get to those 60s, bro, you're old, bro. Father Time's undefeated. And boxing is not a thing that 60-year-old men usually do. So it'll be interesting to see. I do think that Jake's cardio will be affected by the weight, and his cardio will be very bad. I don't think Jake Paul knows how to handle packing on the weight like that. He's never experienced it, and he looks flabby, to say the least. And I don't think his cardio will be great after the first couple rounds. So hopefully we get a knockout in the first 3 rounds, because my fear is that Mike, as a 60-year-old man, will be gassed. Jake, as a unexperienced guy coming up a lot of weight, packing on a lot of weight for this fight, will probably gas. And if the fight gets past the 3rd round, it might get a little boring. It might get a little boring. So let's hope for an early knockout. Let me know. Drop a comment. Thank you guys. If you're gonna be there, hit me up. Let's link up, guys. Say what's up. I'm gonna get a prediction video. I'm gonna get all y'all's predictions. I'm gonna post them. We're gonna get fan predictions just like the last Jake Paul fight. When we did the Nate Diaz fight week, we were at that. We're gonna get another video just like that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. Enjoy the fights.